What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be talking about Nano Dimension, ticker symbol NNDM, and how they just announced their largest direct offering to date. This is a $500 million direct offering. So by the end and the time this offering is closed, Nano Dimension is going to have about $1.5 billion of cash on their balance sheet. So if you guys were watching my previous NNDM videos, we were talking about this massive event that was going to happen yesterday. It was a shareholder meeting in which they wanted to raise the amount of shares that they could issue for capital. So obviously they approved this because once we go over and take a look at the amount of shares that NNDM is issuing, it's much more than the amount of shares than they had left after their previous offerings. So we also saw Ark Invest start shuffling around their shares of NNDM. We're going to go over exactly what I think they're going to be doing with their NNDM position, and we're going to be going over some of the next catalysts that we need to keep a lookout for on NNDM that might really send the share price going way higher. So before we get into all of that information, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that big red subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video, so you get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks, learn about a couple of new ones, and see exactly which options I am trading and which strategies I am using to trade them. So if we come over to this article, we can see that Nano Dimension, a leading additively manufactured printed electronics provider, today announced it has entered into definitive agreements with investors for the sale of about 39 million of the company's American depository shares at a price of $12.80 per ADS, pursuant to the registered direct offering. So currently, NNDM, at the time I am recording this video, is down about 7%, or about $14.50. That is the price that the stock is currently trading at. I don't expect NNDM to go anywhere near this $12.80 price point. I think we're going to see a lot of people come in and buy this dip, and here is why. Every single time that we saw one of these massive share offerings that NNDM announced, we saw a pretty significant dip in like a 2 or 3 day period, and then we saw the stock massively rally back up in the days following. I think we are going to see a lot of institutions start piling back into NNDM after this kind of settles down and the offering is closed. So this shareholder meeting and vote and then this massive offering is, in my opinion, a short-term hiccup, and it's not really going to be affecting Nano Dimension in the long term. So here is the next thing that I think we can expect from Nano Dimension in the near future. So if we come over to this article, this came out a few weeks ago, but Nano Dimension engages Carl Square for European acquisition search. If we come down a little bit further, Carl Square has already introduced Nano Dimension to several attractive targets in Europe. Then we compare this with the Redline Money Report interviews with Nano Dimension's CEO. He has come out and said that they want to acquire between 1 and 3 companies over the next couple of years that are synergistic to the business model that they currently offer. So I think that we are going to see some NNDM acquisition news coming up. They have $1.5 billion worth of cash, and they are going to need to deploy it in some form. Now, we also saw in one of my past videos that Nano Dimension is planning on ramping up their marketing efforts towards the end of 2021. The pandemic really affected their sales, and they are planning on getting back on track with their marketing and distribution towards the end of 2021. So part of this $1.5 billion probably will be spent on marketing efforts. So NNDM has a lot of interest from the average everyday retail trader, but as we've seen from Ark Invest, they have a lot of interest from the institutions as well. If we take a look over at this website, this is tracking all of the 13F filings, which disclose all of the positions that the big institutions have in a given stock. So we are taking a look at NNDM section, and I have sorted this chart by the filing date. Everything you see highlighted in green is a newly initiated position. So we can come down, we can see that there is only only one sale, and then everybody else almost has just initiated new positions. We see BlackRock, Advisory Services, we see Renaissance, Citigroup. There are so many big institutions that have pretty sizable positions in NNDM, and the biggest position being Ark Invest. In a couple of my previous NNDM videos, we have been talking a lot about Ark Invest's buying behavior of NNDM. Now, we really thought that it was a rebalancing effort. Now, the reason we thought that was because the first day that they sold NNDM was on February 1st, and that just led me to believe that they were doing a monthly rebalancing. Then we had this shareholder meeting coming up that occurred yesterday. So I was thinking that Ark Invest was planning on selling at the highs and then planning on buying this dip that we saw in NNDM today. Now, Ark also has their space exploration ETF coming out in the near future, and 3D printing is going to play a major role in that ETF. So we could see NNDM get added to that ETF, and that might have been one of the reasons why NNDM was getting sold off in some of Ark Invest portfolios, because they were just basically going to move a portion of an NNDM position in one ETF to the new space exploration ETF. But if we come over and take a look at Ark's holdings as of last Friday, we can see that Nano Dimension is the 11th spot, and they own about $111 million of NNDM. So Ark Invest has a lot of conviction in their decision to invest in NNDM. Their portfolio weighting is about 2.7%. And if we take a look and we remember what we saw in the space exploration ETF prospectus, we actually saw that the stocks that the advisor, Kathy Wood, is going to be selecting for the space exploration ETF will be super high conviction plays. And when we take a look at this $111 million position, Ark Invest definitely has a lot of conviction in their NNDM position. If we come over to a different Ark ETF, this is going to be Ark W. We actually see that NNDM is held in a very significant amount in this ETF as well, in an amount of almost $77 million. Now, it's a less portfolio weighting of about 0.84%, but it's still almost 5 million shares. Now, since NNDM had a very significant dip today of about 9% at the current time that I am recording this video, there are a couple of ways that you can buy this dip using options. Now, if you already have an NNDM position or you are looking at initiating an NNDM position, you could just straight up buy this dip by buying any amount of shares that you can afford. But if you would like to play with options and you want to give yourself some more leverage, you can actually buy some of these in-the-money contracts for December. So the best contract that I really see on this chain would be the $2.50 strike. So essentially what you would be doing is you would be paying $1,200 per contract. That is the last price that this contract traded for, and you would own the right to purchase 100 shares of NNDM at $2.50. So essentially what would happen is that your break-even point for this contract would be $14.50. So if you think that NNDM is going to be at or above $14.50 by December 2021, so December 17th, you would buy these contracts. If NNDM goes to, let's say 20, 25, or even 30 by then, if they announce some great acquisition news, some more Dragonfly sale numbers, they could absolutely skyrocket, and these contracts would shoot up in value, and you would own the right to purchase 100 shares of NNDM at $2.50. You also have more leverage by buying these in-the-money contracts. So that is going to be it for this update on NNDM. In general, I think that this is going to be a great dip to buy. I don't think NNDM is going to go anywhere near this $12.80 offering price. We've seen this happen a lot. NNDM has done offerings way below the price that the stock is currently trading at. We see a short-term dip, and then we see NNDM go back on its rally all the way up to the moon. So that's going to be it for this NNDM update. If you guys enjoyed the information that I provided for you in this video, please go down and make sure you hit that like button and hit the subscribe button. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video, so you get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks, learn about a couple of new ones, and see exactly which options I am trading and which strategies I am using to trade them. So I hope you guys are having a really profitable day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.